Speaking of load up, the Braves, they kind of like to load it up on the Marlins. They
Yes.
started this series in Miami the same way that they started the last series against the Marlins, not just with a win, Jarvis, but a shutout. When we remember that just over a week ago, about a week and a half ago, started out 11-0, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like on repeat, not maybe as much as a massive beatdown, but still on
Yes.
repeat because you still got some of the same things. You got power hitting, but you got not just the home run, the long ball, but you were able to get on base with runs. You got solid pitching and you got stellar defense once again. So 6-0 was the final in game one of this series. And Jarvis, like we said, sometimes we come to the table and it's the good, the bad, the ugly. But today for the Braves, it's all about the good, the better, the best. So many positives there. Number one, you're coming off that loss to end the Met series, but you won the series, but then you've got to travel down to Miami and you're wondering, first of all, and we don't want to get into this too much, but just, I'm just saying this to make you smile. First thing I'm wondering is, okay, are we going to try, are we going to get a hit by pitch on Ronald Acuna Jr.? Like you could, because you know that can be an issue with Miami, but we
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Yeah.
It was a clean game from that perspective last night, which allowed us to just watch it and just enjoy the good of it. The good being, let's start there. Ozzie Albies. He scored his 8th run of the season in the win. And Ozzie's just been doing it because scoring 8 runs, that puts him in, I believe, he's 26th in the league, something crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
For what he's been able to do. So not just that, but in RBI as well. I think he's like maybe in the mid 20s there too. And so again, I'm looking at Ozzie and I'm saying, wow, Jarvis, we talk about all of the heavy hitters, and don't worry, guys, we're bringing you the heavy hitters in a minute as well. But I wanted to start out with Ozzie because I think he's one of the good goods that we don't talk about enough. And check that, Jarvis, tied for 6th in the league for home runs.
Yeah,
He's
right up
probably
there
the
with,
most silent assassin that the Braves have in the lineup.
and he's right up there with Matt Olson. Matt Olson is right, right there in the same pocket as well. So that's the one of the things that John Chucker is talking about on his show on Hitting Hard. You can check that out. Make sure you guys check that out. He always has an opinion about everything, but to me, I feel like he made a really good point when he talked about how important Ozzie Albies is. Like, if Ozzie's bat is going like it's been going this year, like this is a very scary lineup, man. And not even talk about all of the good things, but Austin
Yeah.
Riley's been struggling. He's been kind of
Yes.
struggling, after getting off to that top 3 in the batting order, getting off to such a hard start. He's kind of falling off as of late.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a guy like Ozzie coming in and doing his thing, I think this is a team, a lineup that is murderer's row, as you want to speak. And then you got Michael Harris coming back. So when you got a guy like Ozzie, because Ronald nephew is doing his thing, he's back. He's 100%. But when the homie, when Lil Cuz is out there doing his thing, Ozzie Albies, Lil Cuz, yeah, I just gave him a nickname. That's his name. When nephew and Lil Cuz out there doing that thing to you, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch. When he turned that. What probably would have been a single for normal folks, he turned it into a double and ran it out. Of course, he lost the trademark helmet flying off his head. Like, those are some of the things that just makes the Braves just such a beautiful thing to watch. And I think
Yeah.
that when you have a guy like Ozzie getting it rolling and he's seeing his homie out there doing his thing as well, this is something that teams need to be on the lookout for, because
Yeah.
this is a scary team right now, T.
Right.
Because
And
you
that's
got to
why I
have
called
Bryce Elder
him.
doing his thing too.
Right. And that's why I called Ozzie Albies the silent assassin, because we've
Absolutely.
had that conversation about Matt Olson and how he had the hot start. We've had that conversation about Austin Riley, but I feel like preseason, right between, that space between spring training and the opening of the regular season, I called Ozzie Albies as my guy. I said, if
Right.
he gets going, that's going to be my guy who's like your sneaky MVP, meaning obviously Ronald Acuna Jr. is the best player on your team, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you're going to do what you want to do, which is get back to the World Series and possibly win it, unless until Ozzie Albies shows up as old Ozzie. And we're starting to see that, and it's just exciting. So that's our good. Our better, you just called him Bryce Elder, aka Mr. Consistency. He's gone at least 6 innings in 7 of his last starts. Of course, last night it was a 7-inning, 3-hit outing, and he bounced back from a not so good outing just 5 days ago. And that's the kind of thing you want to see, because that's what consistency is all about. It's not
Right.
always every outing you have a great outing. Sometimes consistency is you have a little bump in the road and you bring it back, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
thought about this. I said, man, oh man, here we go. with this amazing pitching rotation. You've got Max Fried, Spencer Strider, Charlie Morton, Kyle Wright, and then Bryce Elder. But other than the hiccup in the last start, it's like, yes, we know Bryce Elder is fifth in the pitching rotation. But remember, we were also talking at the beginning of the year about Dylan Dodd and Jared Schuster. We're not really talking about Bryce Elder that much. But now you're feeling like he's the third best, maybe in the group so far this season.
Oh, easily, hands down. And because you talk about a consistent standpoint, you have Max Fried, who had his, injury issues and, not injury issues, but,
right.
So you have his injury issues, and you have, Charlie Morton, who has been, working through things and doing his thing as well, and showing up, at 39 years old, going to the mound. So I think that when you have a guy like Bryce Elder, like you said, at least 6 innings at 7 out of the last 11, and that consistency, you're bringing that consistency, even if you aren't like on it, no on runs, no walks and all that stuff, but you still kind of giving you enough to where your lineup can pick you up. And we've seen that even with Spencer Strider as well. We've seen the lineup pick up the starting rotation if need be. So when you have a guy like Bryce Elder doing his thing, he's the type of guy that, he doesn't get all of the fanfare, all of the, the hype and everything coming into the season, or even same thing last year. When he came in, he just came in and produced. And that's what we've been seeing as of late. And I'm super excited when we're talking about a guy like Bryce Elder, when you've had guys who were 21-game winners last year and guys, Cy Young candidates and everything like that. And if we're not talking about them, like I think the Braves right now are in a really good spot.
Yeah, and he is, like you said, just someone who he stays under the radar, but he is consistent with his, and he is so powerful with it. Like, he was going back and forth between sinkers and sliders. And it's funny because there were a couple times as I was looking back at it, even this morning, and I was like, okay, by the time the batter figured out that it was a sinker, it was already a strike. I mean, it was already done. So he's that fast. And I love what he said as well. At those few moments, those rare moments last night when he was, quote unquote, out of control with his pitch, it was one of those things where even if it wasn't his best pitch, he liked what he saw in himself. And that's because he still had the ability to come right back and have command on that very next pitch. So when you hear that consistency from the pitcher himself, Bryce Elder, you hear Brian Sticker giving that same comment, or you hear that from Michael Harris II, that's a beautiful thing. And of course, we always love when we see an ERA that's 1.75 and 32 strikeouts. That is also a good look, because Jarvis, what you needed last night after the bullpen has been just worn down and worn out, you needed him to go 7 innings. So it was just a beautiful thing. But let's be honest, good, better, best, Ronald Acuna Jr. How do we know? Because he won the NL Player of the Month award for the month of April. This guy is on fire. I mean, in every category, he's either leading the majors or he's leading the National League. So we're talking about hits. We're talking about stolen bases. We're talking about on base and slugging percentage. Everything, he's at either the top of his game across the majors completely, or he is at the top of his game across the National League. And he showed just about all of those weapons last night, Jarvis, just a day after Tyler McGill hit him by pitch. And his shoulder, the way he went down, made us all gasp like, oh, not again. Guy comes back, gets a double, drives in a run, steals a base, and it was like an acrobatic steal of a base. 14 bases, leading the NL. Is there anything that this guy can do? Because I feel like at this point, we all think about the fact that, he owns the Marlins. That's clear. That's why I said it was shocking that he didn't get hit by pitch again. But Jarvis, the way I see it, it's like, is he looking to own everybody this season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He coming for everybody's neck. You better protect it. Like Wu-Tang, a famous proverb you said about Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, they are, they are those type of guys. But, yeah, I think with nephew, I'm not surprised by this. I know people, we've talked about his greatness and how he is and his capabilities, and to be able to see what we are experiencing right now, I'm not shocked. This man is amazing. He is an amazing player, and he was what a couple of feet away from a grand slam last night. And I'm just like, man, this dude is about to take this man deep to Oppo Taco, as my main man Brian Jordan used to say on the broadcast. You know, I need to bring my boy back, man. Y'all stop playing around. But yeah, I think this is something that that was expected. Because we knew the man said he was 100%. So I am not shocked at all that nephew is actually out there doing his thing, and I'm going to continue to see it because he is exactly what we thought he was.
Yeah. Everydayers, if you want to weigh in on who you feel is good, better, and best for the Braves, let us know. You can drop it in the comments section when you check us out on YouTube, or you can follow us. I got our Twitter handles right here for you. If you want to DM us and let us know your thoughts about ATL Day Ones overall or about the topic today, absolutely drop us a comment because we appreciate you being with us from day one. And we appreciate the fact that you are literally bringing your friends along for the ride. So don't forget, tell them about YouTube because they can check us out and see who exactly is Jarvis, who exactly is Tenitra. Here they are. And of course, if you guys are riding in your car and we want you to be safe. We don't want anything to happen to you on the roads here at ATL. Then you can download us wherever you get your podcasts and listen in on ATL Day Ones, wherever you are in the streets.